Alrighty guys, what is going on everybody? My name is Blitzwinger. Before we get to the BLITZVILLAGE episode, because I completely forgot to mention, we've got Michael Castigliola, not because I'm a jerk or anything, I just really forgot to mention this. He submitted two really cool designs, and of course if you want to submit designs, go to my Twitter and submit them. We've got a design of the Flash, and we've got a design of the little Blitzwinger dude, of course, that has been redesigned now and looks pretty gosh darn awesome, dude. And the other cool thing that he pointed out to me is that his Blitzwinger creation here is actually three-dimensional, meaning that from any perspective you look at it, it won't look hollow. Like, you know how certain designs, if you do like a dot design or a pixel design, I guess, in Minecraft, you could only see it from the front. This design is three-dimensional, so very cool. Nicely done, Michael. Thank you so much for all your hard work, and I'm really glad to showcase both of your awesome designs here. So again, guys, now let's get to the episode. Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? My name is Blitzwinger, and of course, welcome to another episode of Blitz Village. And drum roll, please. Okay, that was the worst drum roll on planet Earth, but nonetheless, the point is, ta-da! Look at that. That looks like quite a building, don't it? Well, in fact, let's take a better look at it. So that is our library. Yeah, I know we left it in a completely different form, but basically I had some technical difficulties. I thought I was recording. I wasn't for about 10 minutes. I finished the walls and stuff, but I added some books and things like that during that episode. So now, hopefully, things are recording. I checked. It seems like it's A-okay. More importantly, I wasn't recording sound, so that was the big issue there. But nonetheless, of course, this is the library. This is the shape that I decided to go with. I decided to make it quite large. I really also added this glowstone here because I wanted to almost kind of be like stained glass, and I really wanted to give this place a lot of windows. That was the kind of architectural idea that I wanted to go with. So I gave it like a big window up front here and two smaller ones. Then I gave him kind of like a weird pattern of windows right over here just to kind of, mix things up. And then just this very large window in the back. And the main reason for that is that so once you're in the library, you could see the sun coming down right there, and it's looking pretty gosh darn beautiful. Looks like a great day to have spent outside. But the cool thing is that as you're standing inside here, like, you got access to the beautiful beautiful sun, and then as the moon will start to come up, I'll show you guys, you will see it come up through this ginormous window, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Look at it starting to come up. You see it right there? There it is, trying to sneak up on us, but nonetheless, very cool. And as you can see, I added a ton of books. That was the idea. I just wanted to make an overwhelming amount of books. Just so many books that you could kind of look and you're like, Jesus, like, no one could ever read all of these. And that's what I wanted to kind of do, to kind of almost like, it sounds absolutely pretentious and kind of like, oh, look at me, I am explaining such a interesting concept. But basically the idea that I wanted to go with was to almost make it a kind of a sign on just how humanity is so knowledgeable that you would never be able to learn everything anyway. So it's just kind of overwhelming amount of info that you can see. So you see, like, as you walk in, you're like, bam, look at that moon, that looks awesome. And now you might be wondering about these ladders across this place, and the main reason for that is, you know how big libraries and things like that, even if people at home who have libraries, they set up ladders to kind of like a rolling ladder. Unfortunately, you can't really do that. I was thinking of putting like some kind of a mechanism, like a minecart or something, but that just became a little goofy. So what I did was I could set up ladders in certain places so that you could just kind of, climb them, and then like you would stand on the shelf, and then you would, in theory, I guess, reach up for those books up there. Plus, it's pretty cool that you actually get to stand up here. I thought that was a pretty cool idea, that you actually get to climb up here and stand and look at this beautiful scenery, look out into Blitz Village, look out into Blitzwinger's house right there, which is pretty gosh darn cool. And you might be wondering, how the heck is there so much light, considering that there are not a lot of torches in place, well, except those. Well, that's because we've got a glowstone, ceiling, and that was a very cool idea. I wanted to kind of do almost like a stained glass, like what I did in the front here. You know how like older buildings, not cathedrals necessarily, but a lot of times it is kind of like religious places, but at the same time, a lot of like older libraries have like cool designs like this. And what I wanted to do was actually also add like some redstone detail like that, It's not very bright though, so I'm not sure if I'm going to go with that. So I just wanted to kind of show you that, guys, and then let you guys decide if you want to see more detail kind of brought out by redstone. And yes, there is a piece of glass in the way. That was the idea, was to kind of have the redstone there. I don't know, maybe if I put just the redstone by itself, maybe it would glow nicer and therefore look cooler. I don't know, I guess it does kind of look a little bit cooler. So yeah, if you guys want to see that kind of, you know, redstone in certain places, let me know. I'll definitely consider putting that together. So then we've got another ladder that would lead us to another set of books. And the idea is that I want to put books on every little square, except for I don't want to be covering up the windows. I want to make sure that the windows are free and that you actually get a perspective on them, or at least somewhat of a perspective. So as much as I want the space to be overwhelming with the amount of books, I also want there to be some freedom for the windows to be accessed. Now I also got these two little cool like VIP study rooms, so you could come up here and, you know, just have like a study group and you know, there's a little desk there, so you could place your books and whatever it may be. And there's another one right over here with a little bit of a different design. In this case, it's instead of having one table in the middle, it's actually 3 tables, so pretty cool, I guess, right? And again, just some seating here, so pretty neato. There we go. So we're going to just climb on down and get to work on our book designs, shall we? By the way, I really was surprised by how many people answered to the book question, and with very, very interesting answers. And that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit, was actually how when people started to reply, there were all these names of books that I had never even heard of. And the main reason for that is that, of course, I did not grow up in North America, so therefore I don't have the same knowledge of the same books as people who have grown up in North America. So I found that interesting how all these books that were brought up were like books that I've never even heard of. And so many of you guys brought up the same books, like some story books. A lot of people brought up Goosebumps, which we did have those books in Israel as well. So that was pretty interesting. That's actually like a horror series. And a lot of kids actually brought, or not kids, I guess, people who were kids at the time, brought that up, and I was like, oh, that's so cool that like there are so many books that cross culture, you know. And the same was, of course, with Harry Potter, and a lot of people did bring up, of course, Hunger Games and all that, and then that was completely fine. Look, I'm not, even though I said it with kind of a derogatory voice, I have no issue with any of those series. Absolutely no problem. Seriously, I think that the more people read, the cooler it is and all that. Again, I personally, at the same time, it sounds contradictory, but I personally am not a huge reader, not because I don't like books or anything. I think I've made my opinion quite clear to be the opposite of that and be quite affectionate. Not affectionate, that sounds creepy. That sounds very creepy, actually. But I'm trying not to cover the windows, but in this case, I mean, you're not going to be really able to see those windows anyway once you're... Well, actually, you are able. So, I'm wondering if how does it look if it's from this perspective? Well, I guess it's not too bad. So, yeah, I guess we don't have to place anything there. We do need a couple more books here. But yeah, I do think reading is important and all that, but at the same time, I think that we as a culture have grown to kind of, I don't know, appreciate other mediums more so even, and that doesn't mean that reading is bad. In fact, again, as I say, I think that there's something special about it, of just kind of being able to imagine a world and all that, you know, instead of like, even an audiobook is not the same thing because it's being read to you, so that voice impacts your perception of the book. Like, depending on how it's being read, like, it could make you excited in certain sections and etc. While if you're reading it yourself, you're gonna dictate the pacing of the story and all that, so you have complete creative control of the experience. So I think that reading is definitely still not the same and can't be necessarily compared to audiobooks, even though they're delivering the exact same material. It's not interpreted the same way. But again, yeah, I love audiobooks, and I enjoy books every now and then. It's just that, honestly, for me, it's much more of a case of just how much time it takes to just sit there and read a book. I really can't afford to be doing that nowadays. So if there's a point in time when I have way more free time on my hands, I will definitely be able to go back to actually reading the books myself instead of experiencing them in the form of audiobooks, which is actually something that I wanted to also ask you guys, is if you've ever read an audiobook, listened to an audiobook and then read the book yourself, and was that experience the same or different for you? Was there any impact from seeing the book, or hearing the book or reading the book? Was there any difference for you in the two different mediums there? So I think that looks pretty gosh darn good. So you'd climb up here onto this ladder, onto this kind of shelf here, and I guess that's where you would kind of grab the books from up there, even though if you think about it, it'd be pretty gosh darn difficult to grab books from up there, because it's like, you grab a book and then you break a leg. You're like, yep, I really needed to read that volume of, I don't know, Pokemon or something. That would be pretty funny. Okay, so by the way, and I also added, of course, 2 more doors, which I thought would be kind of more cooler, that's good English, no, cooler, just because a lot of people said you gotta make it feel a little bit more grandiose, so that's definitely a great way to go about doing so. I think that it looks really cool that way as well, so good suggestion by all of you. Now, let's see, I guess we gotta have like a little not a reception desk, I don't even know what you would want to call it. Kind of like I guess where you trade in your books and things like that. So probably a series of like tiny little tables. So we'll grab this. We'll grab our trapdoor to help us out with that. I don't know why I put the books away. I'm going to need that for sure. So I'll grab that in just oh, there it is. Might as well grab it right now. I'll grab that, and then I'll grab the fence. We're going to need that as well for certain. And let's see. Do we want to just kind of have it lead out from the actual, like the actual entrance, or do we want it to be a little bit kind of more freeing? I don't know. I think it works kind of if you... it's kind of difficult to say, huh? What if we did... Actually, I think this would be kind of cool. We could do like a little lock off. Like that. There we go. So that no matter who entered, you would have to go, let's say, this route, right? You would have to go through here. And then, let's just say, once you've entered this point, what we could do is, I think it would be kind of cooler, actually, if we did a little... like set of tables, right? So they'll be spaced out, right? And then on each table, for example, or maybe even do them like this. That way, let's see what that looks like if we place 3. There we go. Yeah, that looks cool. I like that. So we'll do like kind of like these designs where basically, you know, as if there's a computer or something on there. And just kind of like little desks up at the front here. And whoops-a-daisy. Almost to act, I guess, like a not a counter though. I don't know what the right word is, but it's basically to trade in your books. And then after that, we could just literally make this big wall of books that then leads you kind of into the actual library, so to speak, you know? So it'll just be like this giant shelf of books, right? Like that. And I guess what we could do, actually, so that, because some people said, oh, you gotta, you know, if you use fences and stuff, you could actually spawn villagers into areas. So I guess we could do that in this case, actually. And just have, well, that doesn't look good, actually. Oh, this is hard to decide. It's hard to decide how to do this. Without making it look absolutely ridiculous. That's the big problem. So if we do this, and then if I were to go in here and go into spawn villagers, and if I spawned a villager, so this will be our kind of a cashier type person who will welcome you into the library and cash you out when you need your books, when you're done with the books that you have decided to choose for this particular time. And I guess we could connect those two tables like that and place some more plates. Well, that kind of looks dumb. Okay, there we go. That looks much better. There we go. So then we got our fellas kind of working here. And then right here is when you would enter the library, which is pretty cool. So we'll just build this up 4 shelves high. And there we go. And you enter the library and it's just like, bam! Just this big, ginormous effect of just so many books as soon as you access this. Just an incredible amount of bookshelves all around you. And of course we wanted to do, I guess we want to do kind of maybe a couple of reading areas. But I think what would be kind of cooler would be just to do kind of shelves. And maybe, you know what? Maybe do like little aisles of books, right? That would be kind of interesting. If we could just do like an aisle, right? And then another aisle, and then another aisle. So you just kind of, you know, this would be the aisle of whatever, mystery suspense books, or whatever it may be. By the way, let me know what your favorite genre of books are, whatever it may be. It could be also, of course, comic books. It could be whatever it is that you enjoy personally. And do not be embarrassed, even if you, whatever, you love romantic titles or something like that. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. No matter what anybody tells you, just enjoy what you enjoy. You only live once, so might as well enjoy your time here. Right? So I'm trying to see what it would look like if we place some of this wool here. Of course, Minecraft 1.6 introduced carpets, but the problem is, I know some people will ask me why I haven't used that one. I'm going to go to it, but we'll have to get rid of our current texture pack, at least until they update it for the new Minecraft, because obviously with the new Minecraft, there is the introduction of things like horses and stuff like that, so you need textures for that, and this current pack doesn't have that, so that will obviously be something that we need to see through, or sorry, they need to see through first. Okay, so I think it'd be kind of cool to just kind of, as you walk straight, you'll just hit like a wall of books, and then actually maybe like a little design like that, and then over at this area, I don't know. Do I want to do... You walk in. Do we want to do carpets here? All of it? Or no? Why don't we, like, actually... You know what? We could do this little area here. This will be a reading area. Whoops. I just took down a wall there. There we go. Whoops. Okay. Come on. Well, it doesn't matter. It's going to be covered up anyway, but... You know. I'm a stickler for detail, I guess. Alright. So, that looks pretty good. That does look like a... piece of carpet, so I think actually I want to make it a little bit bigger, just a tiny little bit bigger. And then what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna create another little separator, because the idea is that you want to kind of separate the zone of where people are reading, and we'll have all this with carpets as well. So the idea here is that really there's like a floor, and then there is an area which you access via... Actually, you know what? I don't want all of it to be like that. I think it actually would work better like this. So it's kind of floor, then there's carpet, floor, carpet, floor, carpet, just kind of mixing that particular pattern over and over and over again. So now, let's see. I guess we could put just a couple of desks around, right? A couple is actually probably enough, because you don't really need more than that. And then we need, of course, some seating, because it's much more comfortable to read while you're sitting. That's why a lot of places like Indigo, I think it was Indigo, I don't remember which bookstore I went into recently, but I remember I walked in, I was like, why don't they have sitting here? Like, there's like 3 places to sit. Why would they not take care of that? Like, that is such a simple thing to take care of, but if you allow people to sit, I think more people would come here and read stuff. That being said, I'm sure they're like, hey, we don't want you to sit, we want you to buy. So maybe they're right about that. Maybe it is a good idea to just, you know, not allow an extensive amount of sitting, but only a limited amount of it. Okay, so there we go. We got kind of 2 individuals, and then for a group of people, maybe to sit over there. And let's see. I guess we could kind of, maybe we could do this, separate that with books as well, right? And then do kind of a curve around, so we just come in here and maybe kind of like separate little, well, that would be too much. Sometimes too much goes too far, right? And we'll just put some carpet down. There we go. There we go. That looks pretty nice. I actually really like the way that that turned out. To the surprise of many, including myself. I'm thinking, what if I did carpet... sorry. Ideas, ideas. When they start to sink in, you cannot stop, but you just have to continue. It's like, once you got an idea, you just have to see what it looks like before giving up on it. So that's the big problem. Is like that it's time consuming. That actually looks really nice, doesn't it? Just kind of like a little carpeted area there. I just wanted to kind of, you know, keep the terrain a little different, almost like a maze, so that you get confused in here. Like, Jesus Christ, like, where am I? Where am I now? Where am I going? Okay, I don't even know. You know, just to keep it very, very confusing and kind of cool at the same time. Okay, so I just kind of noticed something. Ooh, by the way, maybe we should keep people kind of on the carpeted area here. Right? So that it's... You know, if they need to, whatever, wipe their shoes or something like that. There we go. Okay, I actually do like the way that that turned out. Okay, that's nice. So there we go. There is the library. I think we did a pretty gosh darn good job. I think it's impressive. I think that a lot of Blitz Villagers members, including yourself, once I figure out the Minecraft thing, by the way, multiplayer, it's still coming. I know I've said that so many times and it seems like, oh, you're lying to us. I really, guys, I don't know why I would be lying about something like that. It's just a case of it being such a giant headache to figure out how to sync everything and figure out how to have people on the server and all that. And on top of that, from what I'm realizing, I'm probably going to have to buy a server. So I'm trying to figure out how can I like afford all that and, you know what I mean, financially, how much it's going to run me and all that. So yeah, it's just been a big pain in the you-know-what. But hopefully we'll sort it out. A little bit of an update on the Batcave here as well. Just before we round things out, I got a little bit of an update. I finished off the wall there. I think I like the main room to just, well, the first room to just be kind of like this, very simplistic, almost to the point that even if you got down here, you'd be like, what the heck is going on? Like, you wouldn't necessarily know what's happening. And the idea that I recently got is that I probably want to actually keep, like, make another wall here, so that you could kind of just have a switch, so you'd be flipping it or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'll have like a redstone, you know, move away the wool again, just kind of how I had when you enter the Batcave, just another one, so that even if you got into this room, you'd be like, what the hell is going on? Like, there's nothing here. It's just all black, so you wouldn't even know what the hell is going on. So that's the idea. By the way, I really appreciate the positive response to the Batcave, so really I'm excited about getting it done up. Oh yeah, and I forgot to show you guys here. I didn't do anything else except for just clearing some more stuff, which is pretty cool. The other cool thing is that I figured out that the Batcave, this main area of the Batcave, which is still, as you can see, a lot of work, that's just sand because I used that to figure out where the Batcave was coming up. It's actually right underneath the library, so that's pretty cool how the Batman is going to be housed underneath the library. That's pretty neato. He could come up and grab a comic book of his own and be like, oh yeah, cool, I remember that story about me. Or something like that. That would be pretty cool. But nonetheless, there you have it, guys. That, of course, concludes another episode of Blitz Village. If you guys enjoyed it, please leave a like. Of course, share the video with your family and friends. Favorite the video. Those are all terrific ways to show support for the series and to show that you guys want to see more of these kinds of videos down the line. So there is our library looking pretty gosh darn stylish, and actually a cool little announcement for you guys. The next episode of Blitz Village is going to be actually a wall building episode. So what we're going to do is we're going to just start assembling kind of a wall. What I wanted to do is probably leave a little bit of the snowy stuff so that maybe we could build like a snow mountain so people could just, you know, the members of Blitz Village could go and ski and have fun and stuff like that. But the idea is I'm going to start to build up a little bit of a fort to surround our city to make sure that no evil shall enter, or once they do, we can contain how many of them enter, I guess. So we'll just kind of start working our way around this ginormous patch of land, but where your role comes into this is in the comment section below, because you guys get to comment on, goodness gracious, on, of course, questions. So you can ask me whatever you want, ask any questions you want. I will probably get to maybe, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 questions. Again, depends how many I get, but something tells me that there's probably going to be around that amount, maybe 50, maybe 60 questions. So we'll see, depending on how many questions I get. Maybe I'll just do like me building it on my own time and then speed it up. But the other cool thing is that we're going to build like kind of watchtowers, so it's going to look very cool. Trust me, or at least I hope it will. I'll do my best to make sure it does. I want to kind of, like, you see this little design here? That's kind of what I want to go for on the corners and throughout, just kind of like this really cool pattern with tiny little windows and everything, so it'll be like little lookouts and stuff like that. So yeah. Again, if you guys enjoyed the video, of course, share it, favorite, and of course, subscribe if you haven't yet for a whole bunch of cool content. If you're interested in my opinions on Minecraft 1.6 and just some of the additions and things like that, of course, check out the episode of Blitzcraft that went up. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll catch you guys next time. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you later.